Hi, and welcome to our program. Today we are visiting Kunstcentrum Silkeborg again, but this time we are checking out the exhibition Unfolding Landscapes. Let's check it out. Hi, Anne.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us again.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm so excited to show all of the exhibition inside here this time. And our wonderful exhibition room and this amazing exhibit. Yeah.
So what is this about?
It's called Unfolding Landscape, and it's like contemporary art from Ukraine or Ukrainian-born artists. And it's, as I say, 42 different artists and very different genres and styles. So we're gonna see like painting, photography, installation, sculpture, all different things. But all of them are like a picture of how Ukrainian contemporary art, or the art scene in Ukraine, has been up until now at least. So yeah.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and landscape is the word I'm gonna repeat the most. It's one of the connecting themes of the entire exhibition. So different artists with very different takes on landscape or nature or.
So yeah. Ukrainian landscape?
Yeah, but also it can be like mental landscapes, landscapes like social landscapes, social political, so on. So it's very the broad sense of landscape. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with all this war happening in Ukraine and everything, was this exhibition planned before? How was it? The timeline?
Yeah. So the exhibition has been underway over the past 2 years. So we've been planning for a long time, and we did not in any way think this would be an exhibition of this importance and with this situation right now in Europe. And also it happened after we put the exhibition up. So I both had tours here before the invasion and also now when the war is in Ukraine. So it's changed a lot of how probably you're gonna see some of the pictures, how you're gonna perceive the art, because it's very difficult not to, even though it was made during peacetime. So yeah, very much it's gonna color your vision and color the way you're gonna see all of this art. And some of the works are gonna maybe have a shift in meaning, not that the artist intended it, but it's very difficult to withdraw from that, what we're going through right now. Yeah.
And did the feedback of the visitors changed also? Did you notice something? Did you also change something about the exhibition because of the war?
Well, I felt a shift as a guide here. More people are interested. I think it's a different take on the news, so the art can give another feeling or meaning to all of this, and it's a different way to understand Ukraine.
I feel like it gives a different context or something?
Yeah, maybe. And also I feel like people see things now they wouldn't have seen before when they were walking through the exhibition. And some of the pictures will stand out really strongly, and some of them already before this happened touched upon themes of war and how we humans destruct our world around us, and now that's even more serious or grave, and yeah. So I felt a change in this exhibition, yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's really sad though.
Yeah, it is sad, but I'm very glad that we have this exhibition right now. I think it's very important, and it's so. And also the exhibition in some way has become a refugee because it has no home. We are an art center, we don't have a place to store all of this art, but it doesn't have a place to go home right now. So it's also without a home. So yeah, it's kind of symbolic or poetical in both I think beautiful way, so to speak, but also very serious and sad way, yeah.
And until when is the exhibition going to be?
1st of May, as of right now. I don't know if that's going to change, but that's the plan for now. And hopefully we'll get this exhibition out and so others can see it other places. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. So would you be thinking of just giving away the whole, or selling the whole exhibition, or some pieces here, some pieces there?
Well, hopefully it would be able to move around as a whole. If that would be, it's a lot of work to move art, and it's a lot of rules and restrictions. But if it could be possible, I think the exhibition would be better off as a whole. I think it's strongest together and not as single pieces. Not that the art is not strong itself, but I think it's a very strong statement as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, from so many different artists and so many types of art, like
sure.
obviously. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then maybe we can start going around.
Yeah, for sure. I will try to pronounce the names. I'm not very good at Ukrainian, but I think it's important to at least try. So you would also be able to read them, but I will do my best. So
I'm sure it's okay.
But right now we're standing by these photographs. They're from duo Elena Subak and Vyacheslav Polyakov. And I personally love their work. I think it's a very strong art photography.
So it's this 3.
Yeah, and also made the one over here, but I think this is like a series. Yeah, so there's a lot in art. It goes like 3. It looks So and they have all of this like connection with the color, so the very strong blue. And now I think most of us are familiar with the Ukrainian flag, so like blue and yellow. And the series is called like Grandmothers on the Edge of Heaven, and it's like this note that we have a generation, or they have a generation in Ukraine. One of the artists what can we say, like a notion to her grandmother. So they notice this generation that has like a huge divide to the next generation, like of maybe younger people, and there's a lot of things tied to that. So this generation of grandmothers, so to speak, they have like certain types of traditions and ways to like cultural things and so on that might not have like passed down in generations, but also like divide in, we have people who lived in the Soviet Union and then the younger generation who grew up in Ukraine. So it's a very different like identity to have. So they see this split between the two of them. And they also have, I think it's a very beautiful way to show this also because it's so respectful. We have these grandmothers in the most beautiful garments of like animal print or like silken textiles, but also have this like what we call it, her shawl on her head.
Like a scarf in her head. Like I don't remember.
So very fine work, but also we have the fakeness, so to speak, in the plastic. So plastic is often perceived as cheap or bad, so to speak. It's not very fine, but I think it just looks so beautiful in these pictures. So we have this combination or duality between the two, and also the apples and the. So it looks very powerful, even though we normally would say, "Oh, plastic, that's bad," or it looks wrong, kind of. But so here I think it's a very respectful series and very interesting and personal in some way. I feel like there's a huge message from the artists in these images. Yeah.
I'm a bit curious about this one because so this she's clearly like going somewhere or picking up some apples, but in this case she's not allowed to go somewhere.
I think these are staged. So they have been like put something up, but I think with this plastic line, like a police ribbon or what we call it, it's very much like a border. You cannot cross it, and I think it's interesting because you can like start to imagine: is it because she's like held back, or is she not like allowed to go further? It's very visual way to show like a stop, hindrance, and also she doesn't meet our eyes. She's looking down. So again, we have these plastic elements with these very beautiful clothes, and so what's most meaningful to them. Also, I think in this scene, it's a part of like a Christian ritual called the farewell, and they always wear like the most beautiful clothes or like garments to these things, and I think it's very neat. It's not what maybe we would consider our most beautiful clothes, but it's again the generation shift and what we grew up with and what we learn and what we connect with things. So I think it's a very nice, like when they have noticed like this group of people in a country and wants to put them out in the spotlight.
So do you know if these pictures were taken in Ukraine or if it was staged somewhere else?
They are from Ukraine, and I don't know about those because those looks like more staged. It could, I think it's in nature in Ukraine, but it could also be in like a studio maybe.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not that certain about that part, but yeah. So all in Ukraine, yeah. And I'm not sure, but I think they have like a certain type of Christianity, way maybe with different rituals. It can vary from country to country. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Like this is like spots, like because in this part it seemed like it was snow.
Yeah.
But now I'm not sure.
I actually think it's also during winter maybe, so it would be possible with like snowflakes and yeah. Yeah, and maybe go a bit further. Actually, I think this is very nice with the sculpture here in this picture, and it's maybe very odd because it's like a walking cloud. But it's because this artist, yeah, you can see it from here, it has a face and like legs. But this artist, Stepan Ryabchenko, he's the son of the artist who painted that painting. So yeah, obviously it's Ryabchenko. So they have like a small spot here for like father and son in the exhibition.
Wow.
So they work.
His only piece?
No, he also has something upstairs, but he works in a very different kind of genre than his father. It's more like a 3D video work, digital art. But they have this little notion here. I think it's very nice to like put them together. Yeah.
Wow.
But I can show you some more of his work upstairs. But his father over here, I think is very interesting because we don't normally see, at least in Denmark, like contemporary art, when we have paintings, it's often like maybe abstract or surrealist. So here we still have something that's abstract, but we also have figures. It's not all like we can see what's going on. We still have some type of motive, and it's called Princess. And you can like just notice her little tiny nose here, and yeah. And what I like about it, it's a part of Vasily Ryabchenko. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a part of the Ukrainian New Wave in the 90s, and that would probably the aesthetic would be close to maybe Rococo or Baroque aesthetics. If you know that, it's like this pompous or like grandiose. Yeah. Also some types of decorative, but he has some of those things in his paintings, but it's also very rough. We have like it's kind of like what we call like a sketch, but also the finished painting on top. So it's
Okay, you can see both.
yeah, it's very
things
beautiful,
happening.
but it's also it has this unfinished feel to it. Some places, but also this very like clear and well finished parts of it.
Do you know something about the creatures? Like,
I don't know that much about it, and that's what I like about it. So I know it's called Princess, but I don't know the story that's being told. But you get like type of feeling that something is going on, and I don't know if I have had like tours here, and people always discuss if it's monkeys or bears or what type of animal, and also this white creature.
gives me like Asian vibes.
Yeah, also for me. So
That's a bit weird. And then like it's so colorful in here, and it seems like there's some type of connection happening with them. It's like energy or something. But then the rest is so dark.
So
Are there factories that are polluting? I don't know.
yeah, I also got that from one of the guests I had with me. But I think it's a very simple painting, but also very, as you start to like see a kind of story or like narrative, and that's what I love about it. So even though it seems simple at first, you can like stand here and watch it for a very long time because you keep finding things and like try to understand what's going on in the picture or the painting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And actually, about the sculpture, do you know if it's particularly related to the picture itself, to the painting itself?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay.
I just think it was like a nice touch to have them here together because, his other work is, as I said, upstairs. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should we go to the column there? I'm very curious.
Yeah, of course. It's Nisha Nutska. Yeah. I actually really like her column here. First of all, I think it's very beautiful and it takes up the space very nicely here with the natural light and so on. But the story behind it is made out of these, I think, 5 modules, maybe more, yeah, of, I don't know, ceramics or clay, like it's this, yeah, sculpture material. But the inspiration for this is, do you know, like in different countries they have these parks with like different statues or sculptures of people known for maybe war or some history. And she thought that they were filled up with these men, and she thought that nature was more important. So she made like this that should be like honored. We should honor like mushrooms, like bacteria, because that's what's important. And it is also like with this notion of unfolding landscape, that the nature is actually very important, and as humans we destroy it or use it as we like. But she has this notion that it's gonna survive us. It's gonna keep like these cycles of maybe it will like be not dying, but like disappear in some places, but it will come back.
Yeah,
So also that's, yeah, I think that's why it also repeats itself. So yeah, I like the idea that we should have like these in the parks instead of different, different men throughout time.
It's so shiny and everything. It feels like you want to touch
It's very
it.
beautiful, yeah.
And it's so colorful also. Like I don't understand half of the thing.
Yeah, and also it has like an enormous effect. You cannot not notice it in the exhibition.
That's really true.
I think it's, it takes up space in a very like proper way. It's supposed to be here. It's okay. It takes up the space, and I think it catches most people's eyes. Yeah, when they walk in here.
Definitely.
So
it seems a little bit like a brain.
Yeah, it could also be. Because also most often we like what we call mirror nature. So like things in our bodies, mirrors in nature, and so on.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
To think of something that's already in here.
Yeah. And I was also told like mushrooms are very close to how human cells work instead of like plant cells, so it could be a connection. I think we're more connected than we maybe think sometimes. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. And about this poster?
Yeah. I understand what you say. It's Andrei
fabric.
It's made out of fabric. I think you can see it more obvious down here. So you can see it looks like a carpet. Yeah. So both images, paintings were made on textile. I think it's also even like hand woven, but it has this poster look to it. So I call it like a poster aesthetic. And what I mean by it is that we very fast look at it and think it looks like a poster, and that's why. And to me, it's most certainly the lettering, how it's like been written on top of it.
Yeah, very graphic style.
Yeah, it would look like a print for sure. But yeah, so it clashes with different genres. So it's like a painting, but it's on like carpet, but it's like looks kind of like a poster. And I have to just look up the title because they have like very nice titles, but I don't know So this is called "And Where Are You?" So it asks these questions in these very rough landscapes. And
it also seems super hard to paint in here.
Yeah, it also, you can almost see like how it cracks and so on. It takes a lot of paint and pigment to put on top, so you get this stiff feeling. So I think it's been very rough to like paint this. But yeah, it's when I say landscape, because it's very like rough, as I said, but we have some. It's very obvious to most people, but why we see it is because we have this horizontal line, first of all, and this like rough tree structures. But most times we don't think about how we so easily see like landscape or and it's very few things that can like make a landscape for us. And I will also point it out in some of the other artworks. But and also
this really seems like dirt. Like it's really super realistic.
It's not what we call uncommon to also use that in your paint to give it like a more tactile feeling, like you know how it would be like to touch it. It could be like touching sand or dirt.
Yeah, my brain makes that association.
Yeah, so it doesn't have this polished or smooth feeling. And so even though it's what I would call two-dimensional, it still have like a feeling in space or like in the room. Yeah, so I think that's like a very nice touch to it also. It has like these layers, so it's as like from afar it looks like one thing, and you get closer and has all of these like details and so on. And I also like the roughness of how like the screws have like to keep it up.
Yeah, it seems a bit extreme.
Yeah. Yeah, and also because in like olden time we have these like gold frames and it's very neat and so on. So I like the roughness and how it's
like more honest.
Yeah, it's just this is it, and I like that. But also the other one over here, they have this nice tile. So it's asking like tomorrow we will be happy, and I think it's nice to like stand and think about these titles, because it's not obvious what it means to the artist, but also not obvious to us what it means to us. So is it because we are as people unhappy, or is it because we are destroying the very nature we're living in, and climate change and so on. So I think the title, and so that is also printed on, is very important to like stand and maybe try to understand what in the image is like saying this or telling us this story. Yeah.
I feel like we are delaying something. Like tomorrow we'll be happy, but like today I want to live with my life choices.
Yeah.
I don't live with the consequences. And this seems like the consequences.
Yeah, because it's not very, to me it's very like ominous. It seems like a serious like darkness also lies in these images. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's very natural, because it seems like like rocks and everything, and that's how it was before I had the buildings in it. So that's at the same time, it feels very natural.
Yeah, and we also have the blue sky and snow. But here you can especially see like the texture of the carpet it's been painted on.
Oh
Yeah. So again, at first when I came here, I thought it was leather, because to me it looked like leather.
Yeah, especially the corners.
Yeah. So it's very interesting what this painting does to the carpet or the textile.
This also seems so heavy. I have no idea how those nails are able to hold it.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah. I'm not gonna shift it around. Yeah.
Can we check the things behind?
For sure.
It seems like they're very colorful.
Oh yeah, actually they're very fun. Those over here. Yeah. So it's usually picul. And they are very modern take on like landscape painting.
Okay, so this is landscape painting?
This is, I think it's like called a forest build, and I also think he's known to like paint fields, and so you can also see the lines. It's very mathematical and straight, and like
You can actually see the lines.
Yeah, so it's been like a lot of measuring. It's like a mathematical understanding of nature. So we have this what we call clear shapes geometry. Yeah, the shape. So you have the circle and so on. So it's how you can reduce a landscape to something still that can be perceived as a landscape. So you have the feeling of maybe a forest belt, so you see the colors and so on, but it's very far from the if you took a picture of it like a forest. But I also think it's the notion of what is the possibilities in art, because now since the invention of the camera, it's been very easy to go out and take the pictures you like instead of like practicing drawing leaves and so on. So now it's like, what can art do that we cannot else find different places? And I think this is an interesting way to work with it, as it's kind of minimalist, and we have this like raw shape, so to speak. What can this shape do for us? And and he also have some other pictures upstairs. I think he's also worked with the seasons, so like spring and summer and so on.
But wow, like I would like my brain cannot understand.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is a bit more obvious, maybe because there's like okay, in here there's also clear like layers, but in here like this really feels like trees and like a camp, like for you to how do you say when you're cultivating something
Oh yeah.
or something.
Also
like
for
this.
me this has, I know it's a forest belt, but to me it also looks like when they are working in the fields during summer and like harvesting or,
Yeah.
yeah, it has those lines and
Yeah, exactly.
so I think, yeah, when I'm standing here I try to like figure out what the different
Yeah.
elements means and because so the clue is it's a forest, yeah, but I think it takes a lot of time to like decipher, so to speak,
Yeah.
the elements and the symbols in the works. Yeah.
Yeah, but with this one, I find it very hard. Like you can, like in here, you can imagine like the sky and everything and the clouds.
Yeah, but I think it's also one of the works that it gets more difficult to understand it the closer you get, because then it will seem
Clearly the difference.
the closer you stand, it will be abstract. But if you have like a far away vision of it, it could be like a whole to you, because a circle might not say that much to you, but it as a whole and the colors together, it can bring some type of meaning. Yeah.
So you can understand that it's.
So you can maybe like watch this as trees seen from above, maybe. Yeah. So on and yeah.
Yeah, it feels like my brain is programmed to see like the layers,
Yeah.
kind of, as I'm seeing it, not from another perspective.
No. But also to me it's always fascinating to see how they make it, and it's also very clear that like we have the lines here, but also the thick paint layers. I think it's just very interesting to see how artists work, and it's sometimes when it's visible in the work. Yeah. And it's also some of our most colorful like paintings in this, because we have some of the more like dark scents and dark color, and we have these like colorful little bright moments over here. Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we have something very different here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Anabakiskaya, and it's actually collage, so to speak, but it's digital. So it's not when you sit and like cut out something, but made in like a computer or so on.
Okay, like Photoshop.
Yeah. So she works with this feeling of transition, but also maybe being stuck or like statical. So she works with the notion, and it was, as I said before, the invasion happened and the war, but she worked with the notion of like refugees, of like Ukrainian and Polish refugees. So they are moving or like trying to get somewhere else, but they are stuck in the sense that it can be difficult to be in transition. They might not feel like they're going anywhere, or stuck at some border or some refugee camp, or maybe like those types of places. So it's all of these people, we see them waiting on this oil rig, but it's not like they can go anywhere. And like you can imagine.
Backwards.
No, so are they like waiting on a boat, or are they just stuck there? So it has this feeling of they're going somewhere but not able to do it. So it's this very huge duality in these images. And yeah, to me also I think it's also the colors, but it has some type of like it's heavy to me, like it's serious. I feel like they are very trying to say something.
That was it for today. Thank you so much for staying with us. We hope you enjoyed this program. See you next time.